Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Good evening, travelers, and those like. I'm having a couple of costume issues. Evidently, the hat does not want to fit. It's going, I think you're a little stupid tonight. Okay. Speaking to me. I see those eyes. She's like, what are you talking about? You'll see. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Orion Effect Vidcast right here on the R.I.F.T Nation Network. That's the RNN. Tonight's show is brought to you by Boo's Paranormal Equipment, GOS, Ghost of Stanton, Virginia, as well as Cabin on 360. I am the notorious, you like that one? I am the notorious social media hitman, Ed Odell.
Like you're leaving me speechless over here. And I am Rhonda Harris. I might be notorious today. I might. Feeling notorious.
Notorious. Din, 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 din. All right. Everybody, welcome. I'm going to switch over to chat right here. Let's drop in the overlay so everybody can be seen. Hello. And the control of the world has begun. I have a plan.
I knew something was brewing.
Yeah, that's what she said. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being a part of the show tonight, right here on this Sunday night. And I know a lot of you are wrestling fans, and I know what tonight is. I know it's a big thing. In fact, once the show's over, I will be going to the big show myself. So kind of excited about it. However, we've had a busy weekend. We've had a busy week, a lot going on, but we have a magnificent guest returning to the show tonight. So, Rhonda, I will hand it over to you if you'd like to say hello and then introduce our marvelous one.
All right. Hello to Julie Newman Bellantuono. Sorry if I said that wrong. Renee Cody, Rebecca Owens, Mama Judy Atkins is in the house, Keith Ottersberg, Susan Swanbeck, my friend Rebecca Owens is on.
Oh, hello, Rebecca.
We're getting more and more coming on.
I like it. And hello, everyone. And thank you for joining us this evening. Now, I want to say this before Rhonda introduces our magnificent and wonderful guest. This is going to be a very unique show because we are going to break society's norm. We're going to talk a little mediumship. And she's like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. We are going to, hello, Julie. And thank you, first timer. Now, the sound system is not up. Our bites are not up yet. But usually when we have a new traveler, we acknowledge. So we're acknowledging with you. Honk, honk. How you doing? Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. You like that, didn't you? She's like, poor thing sitting in the green room going, what's going on? I see her eyes going back and forth. It's hilarious. So before I say any more, this show is going to talk a little mediumship. We're going to talk a little paranormal, and it's going to lead in to what some would say altered universes, dimensions, and celestial thought. This is based on experiences of us all three, but majority of our guest who's about to come on, because she has a lot of special experiences to share, and maybe we can open some more doors if people are willing to open their mind and listen. Hello, Monica. Hello, hello. So, Rhonda. I like that. Rhonda.
You're pulling out your
Oh my goodness. Hello, James, and welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Oh, another new traveler. James will be on our show very soon. I won't say any more. Cannot say any more. But it's going to be a wonderful show. You've got to tune in when that comes. All right. Now for the show. Shall we begin?
Yes. We would like to introduce our dear friend, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, Psychic Medium, an all-around wonderful human.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
It's always good hanging out with you guys.
Well,
yes.
Thank you. You know what? You just popped on, and I forgot to do it, so I'm going to do it if you don't mind. This is no disrespect towards you. But look, ladies and gentlemen, it's here. It's here. The R.I.F.T mug has hit the market. Bam. There it is. Rhonda got her anniversary copy tonight.
I got mine. Unfortunately, it, along with all my gear, because I was drop dead tired when I rolled in last night, is still in my car.
Is there international shipping for those?
We can make it so.
We can make that happen.
We can
make
it certain.
Yep, we got that. And the travelers mugs, which we've been promised for a year, they are now here. So all the travelers have their own mug. If you're a traveler of the R.I.F.T and you want that mug, let us know. It's going to be $15 and we're ready to roll, baby. What?
You all know how much I love my coffee mug. So
yes.
that needs to be part of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be proud to have that.
Let's see. We're getting some stuff. Oh, Rebecca gives us applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. Was it Joanna saying, hi, Kerrilynn. Lovely to see you.
Hi, Joanna.
James says, I'm going to need one of those when I'm on the show. Deal. I'll bring it with me. You're taken care of. Keith says, nice. Kim is in the house. Kim says, hello, you beautiful souls. Hello, magnificent one. Hello. Aren't we all magnificent in this wonderful world?
Kim, I messaged you today to say hello. I shot you a couple of little messages. I hope that you got those.
Miss Carol just jumped in.
Miss Carol was my Reiki teacher.
Oh,
fun.
Yes. Hi, Miss Carol.
This is going to be.
It's going to be a high vibing show tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. We already saw that with the lack of intro at the beginning of the show. The video was just not playing, and I'm like,
it wasn't playing for us, but it was playing on Facebook because I had my phone up and I could see it. So,
oh really?
I'm going to say that's me and Kerrilynn jacking with a good probably.
Yeah, well, you know,
just wait.
The Cosmic Surfer was like, I'm staying in the back on this. Excellent. So let's jump right in the show because we know how fast this can go. Did you like that? A poet didn't know it. A strime and a rhyme. Oh, let's put it all together. Shall we? We wanted to talk about experiences in the mediumship and communication. on multiple levels, on multiple dimensions, to multiple places. Also giving this door of opportunity for you, Kerrilynn, to talk about your experiences for the real first time, as we are honored to have you with us to go, I want to talk about it, and we want you to talk about it. Gotta love me.
Oh, okay, just wait.
Okay, Mama Susan said it played on YouTube.
It
Cool.
was on YouTube and it was on Facebook. It's just we couldn't see it in Restream for whatever. And we saw the second one. We just didn't see the first one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. That's how we roll. The only time it goes really perfect is we know how that goes. Other than that, if it's something going wrong, we're going to have an excellent show. So score. So let's move on. Let's keep going and not let me continue to be my silliness, if you will. Although I'm sure Kerrilynn's like, no, please continue. No.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Where do you want to start?
Well,
let's just rolling. Where do you want to start?
You know what? It's not going to be all. Usually, let's be honest. Usually, I dominate the show. Let's be honest. And tonight, I'm kind of going to step back. I'm going to put my 2 cents in where I can. But I'm going to let this convo go with you and Rhonda, and I'm going to slide in there. I think tonight is. I want to start this off with this. Okay, Ken, I'm coming to that. That's very good. I'm going to bring that up in just a second. Thank you for bringing it up. And by the way, Robert Odell's in the house, the other frog brother. Hello. Communication. When it comes to mediumship, why do we not hear more about communication from other dimensions and celestial beings than we do when it comes to standard spiritual connection from living to those who have on YouTube. That's right. Those who are no longer with us. Oh, I forgot to read the daggone. Anyway, let's continue. Oh, well, Facebook.
If you need help, seek support.
That's right. Seek support. It was a viewer's advisory. Don't like it, move on.
Right. Scroll on.
Yeah.
So I leave that to you two, and let's chit chat about that, because I think this is going to lead into another direction. And I'm glad Rob did say he wanted to bring up Psychor. Peeps out tonight must be all this energy. Yeah.
We probably should touch on that. We probably should touch on the eclipse tomorrow a little bit, just for a little tad bit.
Well, let's do this.
Is it the new moon tomorrow too?
It is.
It is.
So new moon, eclipse, comet. Are we still in retrograde too?
Yes. Yep.
It's like
earthquake.
Earthquake
the last 2 days.
Yeah, earthquake. Yep. Absolutely.
Couple of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think we need to shake things up, right? We need to shake things up so people see. I think part of it is also grounding ourselves so we're not in fear mode, that we put our tips and tools into place so we stay centered and grounded and not get hooked into other people's drama.
I agree. And I think we were talking about this some last night at the end of the night. I remember there being a huge solar eclipse when I was in school. I don't remember what grade I was in, but we made little eyeglasses and shoe boxes and things like now. And people are freaking out because they're closing schools. Some schools around here are closed. They're not going tomorrow. They're worried about children's eyes and things like that. And I think people freak out because they're like, well, they're expecting something. They're keeping the children home. I was like, no, they're afraid to be sued because people sue people for everything now. And that's probably some of it. But, we, even a few years ago, there was one several years ago, they gave out the glasses for everybody so they could see them, watch the eclipse. They were free. So it's just interesting how times have changed. But I think some of it's just because of the world we're in right now, and not so much that something catastrophic may happen tomorrow.
I choose to not believe that there's something catastrophic going on, and just setting that intention. And I find it fascinating from an observer's position to watch people who are love and lighty shift to like fear-based conspiracy all of a sudden when some of this happens. And so where did all your empowerment go? Where did, like, I don't know. I find that interesting to watch unfold.
Yes.
People getting scared so easily.
Yep.
And we can engage in a conversation. We don't have to feed into fear, though.
Well, it sounds like we're in agreement.
Are you making your kiss hat?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm listening, please.
Yeah. Robert said, Dan, I can't say that because Howie didn't do the disclaimer, but awesome, right on. It can get very negative really quick, and people don't even know they're doing it. Well said.
Yeah.
So I think the key for tomorrow is ground yourself, think positive thoughts, and go on like it's any other day. Oh my!
Are there breathing holes in there?
Oh yeah, we're good.
You're looking more like Iron Man than you are.
I'm Iron Man.
Defender.
Oh my goodness.
Defender of the
Let's just
Rift
get ready for
Nation.
tomorrow. Making sure this super.
Okay. Well, I just wanted. I mean, I thought it was good to let's get that elephant in the room. Okay, now we'll go back to Howie's question. So, Kerrilynn, why do you think? I know my opinion on it, but I'd love to hear yours. Why we don't hear more about psychics and mediums connecting with aliens and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
I think those two worlds have been very separate, and I think they've been created and promoted to be very separate, and I don't know why they've been pushed so far apart. From like a personal experience, from my own personal observation and experiences, once that door was open to the other side, everything was starting to roll through. If I was open, I think that some of the alternate dimensions or realities, different places are coming through on a more regular basis because I've said out loud that I'm ready for more of that, and I'm ready to allow more of that, and it's definitely happening. And then I think having the reflection, taking time to reflect, seeing how it's been there all along. Whether I was nervous about talking about it, for whatever reason, if it was personal or professional, but I think that or I feel, I guess is a better way of saying that, I feel more people are getting comfortable with blurring the lines and making it less separate.
Agreed. And I would agree with. Rebecca Owens says, funny thing is, scientifically, eclipses happen globally about 5 times a year, with total solar eclipses occurring every 2 years or so, somewhere in the world.
Yep.
So why folks are getting worked up is beyond me. Valid point on that.
Depends on how much information you're taking in and where you're taking it in from. Personal thought.
It's valid.
It's valid. Yeah.
It's and the reason I bring that question to the table is because it's really, things are opening up and the division is breaking down. Just like, yes, I'm going to say it, just like the veil is breaking apart. It's thinning. I think dimensions are crossing. Energy of the universe is changing. Your thoughts?
The energy is shifting and changing. It's just more people being more consciously aware, more people being consciously aware, working on their accountability. That would be, I think, what I see happening.
Yeah.
Good one.
Same.
That's
Same.
we had talked about that before this afternoon on the phone, accountability.
And there's more of a clear divide between the people who are and the people who are choosing to stay stuck. And if they're choosing to stay stuck to be the best teachers that they can be.
Mhm.
Thank you very much for the role that you're playing.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
there is a very clear divide in that as well too.
Agreed. Keith hits up with, because everything is going into astrology, a lot of people are returning to roots, to the old way. That I do see that a lot.
Mhm.
I
I
agree.
agree.
Monica hits up, I read that as well. So I'm confused. Why are they saying won't happen again for 20 years? Valid point. I mean, they all have very valid points. Hello, Kristen. Kristen was part of my team last night. Hello, hello,
Hello,
hello.
Kristen.
Rebecca dropped. Whoa, no, that's look at you. Ooh, Kerrilynn, what are you doing, lady? Hello, and welcome to the show, and thank you for being here. She's replying to Rebecca. And Rebecca drops, I do think people are becoming more aware and it's being reported. Okay, you know what? Valid point. But let me say this real quick. I think at this moment, a lot of people, you know what? We're about to get real quick. Just saying. Are you ready? I think people are tired of trying to help other people. I think the whole idea of us trying to awaken the entire masses is not probably the direction we want to go. I think we want to help those people who want to be helped. You can't reach the entire mass, and the masses is not awake or not listening.
Well, I don't. The encouragement would be that we are the more that we are focused on ourself, the more on our accountability, personal healing, the more we're mirroring out to other people to have the same accountability. So it's worrying less that others aren't going to do well without us, worrying less that we are responsible for other people's emotions, how they perceive, whether it's perceived or projected.
Yes.
Those lessons we don't feel as responsible for that. But the more that you do take accountability and focus on going inward, the higher vibrationally you are able to connect in and tap in and have those experiences on your own.
And I find with that, then the people that need to be worked with and want to be helped find you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You
yeah.
happen to seek them out or preach your truth. They come on your path.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, and I that's a very good point. I think we just said the same thing in two different ways, which is what we always do, which is quite beautiful. But I also want to say this. I want to make sure everybody understands. I will put your comment, or Rhonda will put your comment up in the brackets when you come up. We may not acknowledge the question, statement, or person right away, but please understand that we are focusing with Kerrilynn and you guys. So we make sure that we spotlight your questions or statements when they come up. We just want everybody to understand how we do this and what we're working, and you're not forgotten and you're not ignored. With that being said,
Said with love.
Absolutely. So Rob just made a good point. He wanted to talk about the multiverse. Let's get into that a little bit. What about the communication to multiverse? Do we as humans, and you ladies would have this, because this is not my thing. I surf it. I don't read it. How about that? Are we now drawing in more communication from multi-dimensional universes now? Are we getting more communication, not just from the spiritual, but the celestial and dimensional side? Are we getting that? And is that getting confused?
Are the messages being confused?
Yes. In other words, are you guys? Yeah, I went there, didn't I?
So can I go first?
Yes. Go, Kerrilynn. I think you're kind of where I'm at.
So would it not? My personal belief is if you are not having your own personal accountability and working on your own stuff, then any message, whether it's loved ones that are crossed over, divine team, alternate universe, whatever, is going to be muffled, and it's going to be filtered through your personal experiences and traumas if you haven't figured it out. So if you're figuring out your stuff, you're vibrating at a different level, and it's clearer, and you can go in deeper. So my experiences have been, whether I've been open to it or not open to it, and if I'm ready to allow or not allow. And a lot has shifted within this last year in understanding it's always been there. I'm just allowing it more. My own observation. Yeah. Tag, Rhonda, you're it.
No, I mean, I agree with that. I think the thought I was having also is, as sensitive people who can communicate with spirit, we all have our way we learned how to do things. And I think a lot of what we've done is about intention and who we're wanting to speak 100%. With, who we want our team to help us speak with, and who we want our team to communicate with this person's team. But I think all in all, I was just actually sitting here and I just had this kind of thought, like, does it really matter? Once you're aware, who's to say that we don't have an ET spirit guide? Does it matter who's coming to us as long as it's for our higher and best good?
Yeah. And that's why I feel that energy has been here for me personally all along. And it has been comforting, even though I had that, existential crisis and life-altering experiences last summer, and kind of processing some experiences. But it is intention. It's a lot of it is intention. But that comes back to accountability. If you know that you are setting your intention, then you are also accountable for whatever those consequences are as well too. And for those of us who are sensitive, when we are opening up or not opening up, is it for a client? Is it for an investigation? Is it just for shits and giggles on our own on a Saturday night, whatever? I think that also matters about what we're allowing in as a message. Meditating, if we're setting that intention. And I have meditated with a crystal that has like a key notch in it, and not thinking that I was going to connect dimensionally with what I would perceive as dimensional or alternate reality. And that's totally where I went when I went into that crystal to meditate.
Well, that makes you question and open the doors to those crystal skulls now. So, I mean, what code do they carry? What message do they have when they're all found? So that's a valid point. I know I just went there. Oh, well.
No, I mean, I've heard several people that say when they meditate holding a crystal skull, sometimes they get the name of that skull, or they get a message from that. Because with crystals, you're just drawn to them. Sometimes you don't even know why you want it until you look it up and you're like, oh, that's why I wanted it. That's why it's calling to me, because of this in my life right now. So, I mean, I think that's always possible. Kerrilynn, thinking about that, because isn't Moldavite supposed to be from extraterrestrial?
Somewhere?
Yeah, like somewhere extraterrestrial. And a lot of people can't handle having that crystal around them.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to me, it doesn't bother me. It
doesn't bother me either.
It's just another tool.
It is just another tool. So then if you look at it as just another tool, is the other tool just to help you feel comfortable so that the door is open, then you no longer need that tool because you are relaxed enough to feel what that vibration is. You just automatically open to it.
Right. That's true.
See, that's why we do this show right there.
That's true.
Exactly. So now I want to ask another question. Let's continue this train of knowledge and expansion of whom we are. So what is the difference between celestial dimensional communication and download? How do we know the differences? What is a download comparatively to direct communication with spirit?
I feel like I get downloads in meditation, and like when I'm connecting with spirit, it's that intentional. I'm connecting with spirit, but maybe I have not wording that correctly. But I feel like I get downloads in meditation and journeying and things like that.
Hmm.
Is it my turn? Here we go.
I saw you look like, okay, Jordan, come back to me. Jordan.
So like downloads can happen when you're sleeping as well too, right? So it depends on how open you are to just allowing what is supposed to be happening in your evolution, and your awareness, and a lot of it is just remembering and reconnecting to something that we are already tapped into that we have forgotten about. So I and for me, the downloads for a lot of people, when they are just remembering and reconnecting again, there's a lot of pressure at the back of their head. There's dizziness. Sometimes people get nauseous. Like sometimes you're receiving those downloads and having physical symptoms and not even realizing that's what's going on. So I know when I set my intention, I had received message from the other side, and how I receive and see, hear, feel, taste, smell. So it's very sensory, that I needed to do a download so I could process those energies with more grace and ease, because some of it was just knocking me literally on the floor, like was not good. But as I was processing that download, it took about 3 days, and it felt like coming up out of a pool in the middle of hot summer. You know how it's cool above and warm below, like you're in a bathtub? And I could feel it. I could literally feel it. The difference between up here feeling lighter, like I was coming up out of the pool, and it took days to download. But after that, it was I wasn't vomiting every time somebody in spirit was coming through with some kind of head trauma or anything like that. So I think that how we receive the information, again, is dependent on where we are on our personal healing journey and how much accountability we're taking of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that Kimberly just dropped in the spiritual essential flow. That's a very valid point. I mean, a lot of people don't understand we can become spiritually sick as long as mentally sick. So this is true. I mean,
well, I think that's one thing is your spiritual ascension, even in your spiritual awakening, it's not for the weak. It's not fun.
Oh,
it is not fun. It is a roller coaster that you
snotty, ugly mess.
I call it the universal bitch slap.
Off of that roller coaster.
And you purge, like you physically are going to feel those.
Yeah.
Like your physical body is going to shift along with you.
Right. Yes. That's why I call it the universal toilet.
Yes. I tell you, there's this thing that I share with people, and I say, okay, if you're going to do this, little tidbit that I'm giving you, you make sure that you are not driving on a highway. You're going to have company over, because you are going to be running to the bathroom to clear that.
Exactly. Let me jump in. I want to drop back to what we just talked about a little bit, because we have a couple comments about that. Yeah, you like that, huh?
I was on that express train for a while before I got it straight.
Kerrilynn says we have an extensive collection of crystals and minerals, which they do. I also want to drop in here and say, Rebecca, I've always viewed crystals, rocks, and a bit differently. While I'm drawn to them, I feel the connection is for one of my guides or an ancestor's preferences, if that makes sense. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Well, I mean, if that's the intention you feel with crystals, I believe that's correct. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Rob sits here as, what are you putting? My downloading happens when I'm asleep. I was really worried about what he was getting ready to say, Rhonda. I'm just letting you know. Very sleepy sometimes when I'm with a lot of psi, other people. I get jumped up, very uncomfortable, as believe happened this week. And we've seen him do that.
Yeah.
So, he knows himself, and I'm proud of my brother for one thing. He's starting to get to know himself. And with him saying that.
That's what it's all about, though.
Yes.
And and understanding and feeling okay, right? Like, and people don't get it, like clairaudience, so clear hearing, whether it is dimensional or not, it gets confused, it's not clear, and it happens because our throat chakra is all messed up. If we're not speaking our truth, if we feel people are talking over top of us, wherever past traumas are, we have to clear our throat chakra in order to hear more clearly what those messages are and wherever they're coming from.
Agreed. Hey, Nando is in the house. Hello, and welcome to the show. Yeah. So this is gonna put us perfectly. Did you like how I did that? We just did a half moon, and now we're going to the other side. We're going to the dark side of the moon.
Okay.
So let's talk about this. I do believe, and dare I say this, I am going to say it in a certain way. I think all three of us have had our own different types of experiences. You had to be paranormal, supernatural, or ufologic, if you will. And tonight, we wanted to talk about, Kerrilynn, your experiences with what's been going on and how you feel about things as far as when it comes to spirituality and ufology. Where are we standing in your experience of what's been taking place with you? And I'm sure Rhonda and I can share, because I'm willing to talk about my story as well.
Right. So I think that in this last year, I am not even. I buckle up.
Oh, buckle up.
Kerrilynn, I just had that vision of us on Paranormal Outlaws on our Thelma and Louise trip, what we were going to do. And they were
Exactly. And it's so, I think that for myself, I was still compartmentalizing things in order to process them in a way that was comfortable for myself. And so I would say in the last 6 months, really breaking down any wall that was compartmentalizing anything, where there's more of an ease and a flow. Because if I'm honest with myself and with others and being more transparent, dimensional or ET guides have been there all along and helping and really showing me different ways to change physiologically how processing what my body for kiddo that is in the spectrum, how I was helping and supporting him. There was lots that was, but I still was compartmentalizing those things until like the last 6 months, where I'm like, okay, I am just open and ready. Let's see where it goes. And now there's much more communication happening, much more of a flow, and none of it feels scary to me. When I see them as an ascended master that's sharing information that's still helping me move forward.
See, I was going to say the same thing. And Howie, you've kind of helped me along this path, because, I've never been big into the ufology and things like that. But I think as I started realizing there was different things, it's like, okay, if I believe in angels, if I believe in archangels, if I believe in the ascended masters, I believe that some of my guides were never in human form. Why wouldn't they be?
Mm-hmm.
And does it matter? As long as I feel like they're coming at me.
Yeah, and it's
highest and best good.
Exactly. And it's so funny that again, from an observer's position, people saying, that they're doing this meditation so that they connect to their dragon guide. But if you say, how about your ET guide? They go, oh, no. Why not?
I think my shamanic journey opened me up a little bit to that, because, there's different levels when you're studying shamanism, like the lower world, middle world, upper world, and you have different guides in there. And when one came through as a dragon for me, and I'm like, oh gosh, because our teacher, she would, want you to talk about what you saw. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to say I saw a dragon. It's not I didn't see it. I didn't see a llama. I saw a dragon.
Damn.
So she's like, oh yeah, I used to have a dragon. I was like, okay.
Right, because we still want to fit in at that point. We still feel like our experience needs to be the same as everybody else's, and it doesn't.
No, that's the one thing one thing a lot of people have to learn. Every's got, and yeah, before you, I know what you're getting ready to say. Let me drop that in here before I go there. Rob says, lots of love, bouncing prayers, hang tough tomorrow. Y'all be strong. Lots of love, Carrie. Thanks. He also said, oh, forgot. Love you, Keith.
What about me?
I know, he didn't even say
Hurt.
me. Dad, he's my own brother and didn't show the love.
You've only known me
know
since
it
I was
is.
knee-high to a grasshopper. Gosh.
I know, right? Good Lord. You turd. You're going to miss the better part of all this, so go away then. Fine. So, I agree on a lot of the aspects, because one of the things we have failed is to acknowledge, and because it's become such, and it was, let me use the word properly, it was such bad societal information that would be allowed to be spoken to or of when it comes to such things as celestial beings, as dimensional beings, aliens, whichever it may be.
Right.
It's interesting to me since 2020 how this has allowed the door to open. And I think more people were now being exposed to this subject, and more people going, hey, I had that happen, or hey, I feel this, or hey, I felt that, or hey, I saw something in the sky, or I can talk about it and nobody's going to ridicule me.
So we had a lot of time where we were not allowed to go anywhere. We were sitting still. We were having to, be inward. And even within our space, like people having or reporting more paranormal activity within their homes. There was lots that people, because we were sitting still, because we were,
Forced
having
to
the
look.
opportunity to notice.
Yes.
Because we're having the opportunity to notice. If we could, I'm just seeing Contessa's question in there. Could we?
It's a good
Yeah.
one.
Just before we get too far down the rabbit hole, then we're receiving those downloads through the night. Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, about intention, before you fall asleep, you can tell your guides, like, look, from Monday to Friday, I need to be up at 5 a.m. I can't do these downloads through the week because I need people to, I need to be tolerant for people.
Yeah.
I cannot be miserable. So can we do this on Saturday? Give me the night off so that I can process it better. Like when you start to understand that it's a team, that you are working with them, you just got to find that way to dance with them. And I think that people feel like we don't have permission to determine what that looks like for us, that we have to, if we're open up, where it's a gift and we just have to accept it all as it's coming in, no matter what it is. And we do have control, and we can set those parameters. And sometimes we have to have an experience that's outside of our control just to shake us up, to get us into the moment. And then we start doing the dance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As I like to call it, the disco universal jam, if you will. Yes. Yeah. Because it really is. You like that. I saw you kind of giggle. I saw that.
I agree.
It is. It's legit.
It is very much so.
We are learning what we already knew.
Mm-hmm.
And
remembering, right?
Yes, exactly. We're recalling those memory cells of past, present, and future. So in that, those are the people. Oh, okay. That just made me
and
go
alternate realities.
Yes.
Like we're pulling it in, that we are having experiences in other places that are playing out a little differently.
When you see a car there and you walk away and you come back into the kitchen and the car is gone, what? And then you're like, wait a second. No. You look out the door, you're looking all around, and everything is absolutely different. You go in, go to the bathroom, and come back and stand there and go, wait a second, I know it didn't. Look out the window and everything's back to the way it was. You explain that.
Reality shifting.
Dimensional shift. Yes.
Sometimes I wonder if that's, how you walk in a room and you forget why you came in the room?
Mm-hmm.
Like, could that have been what happened? I often wonder that.
I think that's a great possibility.
don't know. It's all, everything is a possibility.
That's how I feel about things now. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
anything is impossible. Nothing is off the table. Like, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't there be Bigfoot? Why wouldn't there be aliens? Why would we have multiple dimensions? Like, why wouldn't
and looking at it selfishly as well too, right? So you don't have to have that smack in the face sort of moment, because if we're hanging really on to anything, the more that we hang on tight to something, the more we are actually attracting that, right?
Right.
I think she's talking about, I'm going to use that instead of CRS.
Exactly.
Girlfriend, from CRS. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oh, it's dimensional. I can't remember. So yeah, there we go. But I like that. I'm going to say it's a dimensional shift every time it happens.
I must have just skipped dimensions right there.
Yeah. It's a record play skip. I
actually had that moment last night. It was at the end of the night, and we were at the cabin, and we were at the cabin, but we were in the rancher, and we were in investigating where we usually don't investigate, like that room with the fireplace,
the den.
Yeah, we were in there, and the EVPs kept being whispering amongst people over and over, like every time, and it made me go, wait a minute. Are we whispering to them and they're whispering? Are we communicating, or are they hearing us talking amongst, and we're just hearing them talking amongst? Like, it was the first time I kind of said, this doesn't feel like regular communication. It feels like we are tapping into another dimension.
They're tapping into you guys.
Right. Yes.
They're tapping into you guys. And I've noticed
they're recognizing us.
Yes. So the last few seances that I've done from my home, when we're doing the Estes method, there is dimensional, and we're just going to say an alien communication that's happening. And that's new for me, and it's new for the seances. And again, I think because over the last 6 months, for sure, and just saying, okay, the walls are down now. And it's coming in with positive,
Can I ask why you feel like what's coming in through Estes is more alien than regular spiritual? Like, what makes you feel like it's different?
It is vibrationally just freaking different. So, if you have I'm having the headphones on, right? So I'm not even hearing the questions that people are asking, but what I'm sharing is leading them to ask more questions. And then when I take that off, it's like, when are they coming? Where are they coming from? What is their intention? And it's like, okay, here we go. And I think too, the energy in the space, and to be honest, I have for the last 18 months been standing outside at 10 o'clock with my flashlight, flashing it up to the sky, going, all right, are you coming?
I want contact. It's not a flashlight. Go get you a laser beam. You got to zap that laser. You got
something.
It
was something. But I think, again, though, my intention, my thoughts, words, and actions were not in alignment. I may have been standing outside, but my thoughts and my words, it wasn't all in unison. There was healing that was still needing to happen. There was accountability that was still needing to happen. And where I'm at now, it's different. It's just, there's more flow, and everything's more in alignment, and there's more things that are happening.
Do you think we are now wanting that communication comparatively to the last 50 years? Society itself, is society really ready to have its first contact?
Well, it's such a funny thing because people don't like being lied to. So everyone gets all up in arms that they're being lied to. But when you hand them a truth, then again, it's about accountability. Are they able to accept, what comes along with having knowledge? Because you cannot go back at all once you know. Once you know, you got to keep going with it. You don't get to go backwards.
Red or green?
Yeah.
Which pill?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think the difference is now is it's been admitted to. Like, I think everybody knew.
Hey, crossover.
Now it's,
Yeah.
oh yeah, by the way, the government has been
Well,
doing these things.
I
Pretty much
feel
true.
so many people were giving. It needed to come from certain sources and places in order for it to be real, or in order for it to be acceptable.
And haven't we
And
been
now,
taught that?
and now we're kind of past that.
We've been taught that, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh,
We have
Yeah.
been taught,
spoon fed it,
spoon-fed. We have been
crammed down your
taught that
throat.
it has to come from this and that's it, or it has to come from this group, this society. Just like believing in yourself. Oh, for you to believe in yourself, you need validation from others. No. Personal belief is personal belief. If you believe, you believe. So no one should dictate what your thoughts are. And if your experiences, your experiences.
Yes.
Well, and I'll tell you, I would think that my understanding started to shift really early. Really early, because I mean, my kiddo was going to be, my oldest will be 31 this summer. That's so awful to say out loud. But I mean, he's in the spectrum, so his communication was different right off the start, and understanding that there's different ways of communicating, and the things that he would say, and past life memories, and what heaven looked like. And we never went to church. I never took him to church. I never took him to, or was around people that was talking about church or aliens or any of that kind of stuff at that point in time. And I think that he really initiated a lot as far as understanding that communication can happen in so many different ways. And especially where it's coming from.
Yeah. Now, is that referred to the same subject that we talked about this afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. I just needed clarification. We won't. Yeah. Excellent. And I think that's a valid point, because when you have anyone, it doesn't, the influence is heavy when it comes from certain directions.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm trying hard to be very good about this.
I would agree, Rebecca. I agree that energetically that it's always been there, and that's what I feel for myself personally. What is happening is there's just more acknowledgement at how much it has been there already, and so it's like anything else. Now that I'm open to acknowledging it, now I'm receiving more.
I was about to say, do you think with it? Oh, that's a good one, and I'm gonna give this. Hey, that's in the house. Let me give this to both of y'all. With saying that, with opening up, do you feel now that you're opening up and experiencing more from other locations? Do you think your ability is strengthening because of the allowance of more communication? Wow, that just came out of nowhere. Spirit said, ask the question.
Look at you. Think we're rubbing off on you.
Like the depth of the message, the quality of the message, like where it's coming from. I just want to make sure I'm clear with what you're asking, because I just feel what I've done is open the door more to all the possibilities of where information can be coming from, instead of having a closed off view that it's just from these certain places and that's the only places I can tap into. Now it's very much big.
Right. And with you saying that, I've got to go to Cost on what he just said. Neo-Vidcast said non-duality says conscious is a hallucination. It does state that. However, what is the perception of someone's consciousness and their reality? Who's to say that, someone else's idealistic points are what really is and what really is not? I think we get to make that decision. That's what Great Source wants us to do.
I know this may not sound very nice, but I really don't think about what somebody else's opinion and things are, because I just can't. Because then the comparison happens, then the block happens, and the overthinking happens, and I'm like, this is my truth and where I'm at right now. And I feel I'll be 53 this summer, and it's really only been the last little bit where I felt more comfortable about starting to share some of these things, because I still felt like I needed to fit in the box in order for that to be accepted. And whether it's age or like the mass hysteria, I have less of a, I care less now. I'm starting to care less. This is just what it is for me. And here we go.
And I think it's learning more of it's trusting yourself more, trusting your intuition more, trusting your guides more. Kim and I both had one of our first mentors was ex-military. So it was very much bam, 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 bam. This is how you do it. You do not deviate from this. You know, must be 5 pieces of evidence, blah, blah, blah. And as we've grown, we've realized while we probably needed that structure when we started, that's not how it works for everybody. So now we're both kind of like, however you get it. Like your experience will be different than mine. I can tell you what I know, what worked for me to get going. So it's still kind of that thing.
You hold your breath when you feel that there's an expectation.
Yes.
Right.
You hold your breath, and the more that you can relax, and truthfully, even regardless if we're talking about alien connection, if it's Sasquatch connection, if it's loved ones, ascended masters, whatever it is, the more that you are in a non-thinking mode and just allowing it to be what it is, and the more that you do it, the more you understand the label or the who, what it is by the vibration that they are, and you care less about the labels. You just know the vibration, and you trust the vibration, and you care less about what the label is.
Yes.
Exactly. I don't need to, at my age, I don't need to walk around.
I'm probably the oldest one here.
Yeah. No. I don't need to walk around and label myself as a medium, a psychic, or energy sorcerer, or a pedamic, or whatever word or whatever they think. I am who I am. I don't need to tell somebody I am something, therefore that it gives me existence. No, I know exactly who I am. And I don't need to listen to categorizations anymore. That irritates me too. Is basically what I'm saying. I don't care for it. I know who I am. I know who the people are around me, and I'll believe in who I want to believe in. And then the rest of them, well, I believe in the person. Maybe not what they're saying. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm finding that is a much easier way for me to handle and cope.
So the labels do help people who are just,
Thanks, Kathy.
working, like who are just opening up and becoming more aware. It helps them have some discernment until they get to that place of letting go of those labels. So I understand the need for it, but there's becoming less of a need for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel as you grow, when you suddenly have your own realization, well, maybe I just do it different.
And that's the thing.
It's like taking accountability for yourself, knowing who you are, where you're at, that your intentions are good, and understanding that. Do I think any of my mentors have ever been wrong? No, it's just how they process things, and I had to piece together from what they learned or what I've learned from them. And Kerrilynn, I consider you one of my mentors now.
Thank you.
Like what works for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I find, for whatever reason, even with sessions, like whoever they are on the other side, line it all up, because I will have a week of, bowel cancer, a week of this kind of, like, whatever the sessions are. And so when I was thinking about this show today and different things that have been happening, I feel there's that collective dimensional they that are also, hearing those thoughts before we say them out loud, because our thoughts go out before our verbal words do. So they're already picking up on that energy and thought that I'm putting out, and they're bringing to me what it is that I'm putting it out there.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. And I had to put that up there. Because the one of the things about me is I'm not assigned to a religion, thought, or process,
Self.
but Buddhism does provide a lot of information. And what's being said here, and I love Kassam putting this thinking, thank you for putting that there, is, by the way, Buddhism says the same. The main concept in Buddhism is anidao, no self. But the meditation, I'm not going to say that. I can't ever pronounce that word.
Archive non-self is kind of flawed.
Exactly. And I believe that we do have our flaws, but we are all, we're all connected, and it's not just human. We all have a connection by seed, yet by theory or whatever you may feel your theory is. We're all connected to the universes, to the dimensions. In one size process, we are all one, which is ironic because that's the name of the show, the Orion Effect. Orion, the archangel of the one. I personally just found that out a week ago. I would say connections and keys and puzzles, the pizza peas.
So, and then we get those ahas exactly when we're needing them.
Yes. Purpose, place.
If you are stopping to do that reflection, then you understand that it's happening exactly as you need it to happen. So at a seance, since we're going squirrel sideways.
Shall we? Squirrel.
One of the seances that I did, above my table, there was no light source coming from the floor at all. The person that was coming through was connected to somebody that was there. They did magic. Their name was Ryan, the fellow in spirit. And this green swirling mass opened up, and it looked like stars in this swirling mass above the table, and we all said it at the same time, like, it looks like Orion. It looks like the way these are all played out, it looks like Orion above the table. I think we've got I don't think we have it videotaped, but I know that we have an audio recording somewhere of that.
See?
Crazy stuff, right? So
multi points of anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Anything
and
is
allowing
possible.
Right?
Yes. We could go on for hours. I know we can go on for hours.
Oh my gosh, 3 of us.
So would that mean you'll come back? Will you come back and join us here very soon?
Oh, sure. Anytime. You guys know I love you. It's both. So I am in for the conversation.
I love it. And we'll definitely take you down some more rabbit holes next time.
Yeah, this has been fun.
We can do harder hitting.
I usually don't talk about, like, in Kerrilynn, probably.
No, we don't.
You either. We don't get a chance to talk about these things that are coming to fruition that we hadn't explored before.
Yeah.
I'm learning to pull back. I'm like, yeah, no. And I think it's taking a better position in this show because we're expanding the idea.
But your questions are good. Like, Kerrilynn and I both gone, hadn't really thought about that a little bit. So it's kind of cool. At least me anyway. Maybe not Kerrilynn, but I've been like,
We had a conversation earlier today.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
And not bad. These were good.
Yeah. And again, it's those stepping stones, especially, none of us ever want to feel outed in a way that doesn't feel safe for us. And not everyone is comfortable about talking about. People want to stay comfortable in their lane. I talk to spirits of grandmas that come in, and that's it. That's where I'm good with. And then, that evolvement and everything that we do ripples out to the people around us, and being mindful of where those ripples go as well too, in the information that we share.
Agreed. Kassan said flaws cause what does bring you into a state so-called higher self. It still has its concepts of self. And I totally agree. And I'm not going to put that other one because you don't have a big mouth and you're
exactly. Case and Lee, you do not. It's again, always happy to see you occasionally when you show up in all the different, podcasts, asking questions and contributing to the conversation, because that's what this is about, contributing to the conversation so we all learn from different people.
Exactly. We've gone over a little bit, but that's okay. I think, and I feel, and I'm going to ask my hostess's opinion about this. The next time, shall we go and set it for 2 hours?
Sure. I'm down.
Of course we can.
I think, we want to acknowledge, and sometimes we keep it to an hour, and I would love for it to continue. But there's a lot going on. But we have to acknowledge when those shows, such as this, such as other shows like Laura and David coming on, we have to expand that show because it can continue going all night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, having Laura Lee and David from the thing under the yeah.
Can you imagine the 5 of us? We could go.
Why not?
Woo!
Why not? Let's do it.
Woo! The 5 of us could have some conversations.
Let's do it. Maybe that's what we need to do. Let's do a 5-hour show with the 5 of us.
Oh,
that's a marathon. I don't even think I can talk that long. I mean, I probably can, but no.
Worth a shot. That's all I'm saying.
I had 2 cups of water but just in case the conversation was like really going today, and I was like going to need a lot to get through it.
I wasn't good.
5 hours. Wow.
No, not 5. No.
I think so 5.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yep.
2.
Kathy's like, look, there you go. See, now we got everybody going, wow. Yes. That's so sweet. Thank you. Love this. Love. Thanks so much. Absolutely.
I love you, Rebecca.
Absolutely. Travelers and those alike, continue to watch, see what's going on. We have some wonderful shows coming out. Of course, you already saw the debut of Taboo Topics last Monday. She'll be returning with Stan tomorrow. I'm not sure if Keith is doing a show tomorrow. However, keep a look into that. Check out Tuesday with Susan or Pixie or whichever personality pops out. The bag of nuts.
Did she find a co-host yet?
No.
Okay, let's keep going.
And no.
Wednesday night. There's a new a shift on Wednesday.
Yep. True Crimes has shifted to Wednesday at 8:00 to give her a little bit of more expansion. And right now we have Thursdays open. Friday is a Beacon of Light with Marcy and Susan. So we're getting close to a full. We're taking our time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Kassan, let me see what he says here. And I said what I just said to Laura Lee. And she said, that's bullshit. Well, to each their opinion. That's what I'm saying.
Did she say your mouth, like having a big mouth, was bullshit or something else?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. But I'm like, okay. But check us out. The next time we have Kerrilynn on, or like I said, maybe it will be the 5 of us. I think that would be a magnificent show if we could pull that off. And who knows what rabbit hole will go down with that one. It's the Angel Show. Yes, you got to join us. Yep, you have to join us.
Angels, okay.
Yes.
Angels are intense, way more than what people think.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And they don't put up with a lot of shit either.
No, the non-self thing.
Exactly. So, travelers and those alike, thank you again. We do have to end this episode, unfortunately, but I want to thank Kerrilynn. Thank you for taking your time to come out with us.
Well, thanks for asking me. It's always a pleasure.
Yes. And Rhonda, thank you for being here as always, as my hostess of the mostest, if you will. Hello. Yes. And travelers and those alike, thank you so much. Make sure to continue to help each other. That's why we're travelers. We're on our surfboards. We are there to help the universe and surf the best we can. If we can't, we don't know how. That's what we're here for, to help each other learn how to surf it. Wow. I should have wrote that down. That was pretty good. Nevertheless, may virtue be yours. We will see you on the other side.
Be good humans this week.
Good night.